Men do not fall in love through persuasion or pressure. They fall in love through understanding. What draws a man closer is not what is said, but what is felt in the space between two people. There is a quiet secret here, one that has little to do with attraction and everything to do with presence. When this is understood, love stops being chased and starts unfolding on its own. Love does not open in fear, it opens in safety. Many people believe that attraction is created through excitement, mystery, or emotional intensity. But while excitement may spark interest, it is safety that allows love to deepen. A man does not fall in love where he feels judged, measured, or constantly examined. He falls in love where his nervous system can relax. Safety is not something that can be demanded. It is something that is felt. It is felt in how emotions are received, in how mistakes are handled, in how silence is allowed. When a woman understands emotional safety, she does not interrogate a man's feelings. She does not pressure him to define emotions before he has experienced them fully. She allows space for feeling to emerge naturally. Many men grow up learning that vulnerability is risky, that emotions should be controlled, hidden, or solved alone. So when a man senses emotional unpredictability, he instinctively protects himself. But when he senses steadiness, something changes. Safety is created through calm presence, through listening without reacting, through responding without escalation. A man feels safe when his honesty does not lead to punishment, when his past is not used against him, when his fears are met with understanding rather than dismissal. This safety allows him to lower his guard, and when the guard lowers, connection deepens. Emotional safety also means consistency, not hot and cold affection, not unpredictable emotional responses. Consistency teaches trust without words. A man may not articulate it, but his body recognizes it immediately. He feels drawn to the place where his inner world is treated gently. In such a space, he does not feel the need to perform or impress. He does not feel evaluated. He feels accepted. This acceptance does not weaken attraction. It strengthens it, because love is not the excitement of being wanted. It is the peace of being allowed. A man begins to associate this safety with the woman who provides it. He seeks her presence not for validation, but for calm. And over time, calm becomes attachment. Attachment becomes commitment, not because he was convinced, but because he felt at home. Love grows quietly in the places where nothing needs to be proven. What makes you feel emotionally safe in a relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflection may help someone understand what real love begins with. Love does not move on a schedule. It moves on a rhythm. Many people try to measure love by speed, how quickly feelings are expressed, how soon commitment is declared, how fast certainty appears. But a man's emotional world often unfolds slowly, like a tide that cannot be forced to rise. A woman who understands this does not rush him. She does not demand emotional clarity before it has formed. She trusts the natural pace at which his heart opens. Every person has an inner rhythm, a timing shaped by experience, fear, confidence, and reflection. To respect this rhythm is to honor the person, not just the relationship. When a man feels rushed, he feels cornered. And when he feels cornered, he retreats, not because he lacks feeling, but because he needs space to feel safely. Pressure interrupts emotional development. It replaces curiosity with defense. It turns connection into obligation. But respect creates openness. A woman who respects a man's rhythm does not interpret slowness as lack of interest. She understands that depth often takes time, that meaningful commitment cannot be manufactured through urgency. She allows silence without panic, distance without accusation, reflection without suspicion. This patience communicates trust without words. It tells him, you are allowed to arrive in your own time. And that permission is deeply attractive. A man begins to associate her presence with ease rather than expectation. He feels relaxed instead of monitored, safe instead of evaluated. In this space, emotions are free to surface naturally. They are not forced into existence. They emerge. Respecting rhythm also means understanding how a man processes emotion. Some men need solitude before clarity. Some need action before language. Some need time before expression. When this is honored, he feels seen rather than misunderstood. And when he feels seen, he opens more. Love deepens where patience replaces pressure, where curiosity replaces demand, where presence replaces pursuit. A woman who respects rhythm does not chase love. She allows love to find its own balance. And paradoxically, this is what draws a man closer, because love that is not rushed feels real. It feels chosen. It feels safe to commit to. A man does not fall in love because time is running out. He falls in love because his heart is ready, and readiness cannot be forced, only supported. Do you believe love has its own timing? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective might help someone learn to trust the natural pace of connection. Love is not built through persuasion. It is built through presence. Many people believe connection comes from explaining themselves clearly, defending feelings, clarifying intentions, filling every silence with words. But a man does not fall in love because he is convinced. He falls in love because he feels heard. A woman who understands. This does not rush to explain herself at every moment. She does not interrupt his process with constant interpretation. She allows space for his thoughts to arrive fully. Listening is not passive. It is an active form of attention. To listen deeply is to offer someone your full presence without trying to change them. It is to say without words, what you are experiencing matters. When a man speaks, he is often not seeking solutions. He is seeking understanding. When advice arrives too quickly, it can feel like dismissal. A woman who listens understands that not every emotion needs fixing. Some need witnessing. When he realizes he can speak without being corrected, he speaks more honestly. When he realizes silence is allowed, he becomes more open. Listening also includes hearing what is not said, recognizing the meaning in pauses, sensing the emotion behind tone rather than focusing only on words. Many men express themselves indirectly. They reveal their inner world through stories, actions, or small remarks rather than emotional declarations. When these are received with interest rather than judgment, trust deepens. A man feels deeply connected when his words are not used against him later. When listening does not turn into ammunition. When vulnerability is met with care instead of analysis. Listening also requires restraint. The restraint to not immediately defend. The restraint to not redirect the conversation toward oneself. The restraint to simply remain present. In this presence, a man feels respected, and respect is a gateway to love. When a woman listens more than she explains, the relationship stops feeling like a debate. It becomes a dialogue, not a competition of perspectives, but a shared exploration. A man opens his heart when he senses genuine curiosity rather than emotional agenda, when he feels that he does not need to justify his feelings to be accepted. Listening creates emotional intimacy without pressure. It allows connection to grow quietly, and quiet growth is often the deepest kind, because love is not the triumph of being understood intellectually. It is the relief of being understood emotionally. You feel more connected when someone truly listens to you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help others understand the power of presence. Love does not grow in chaos. It grows in stillness. Many relationships struggle not because feelings are absent, but because emotions arrive too loudly, too quickly, without being understood. A man does not pull away from emotion itself. He pulls away from emotional unpredictability. A woman who is emotionally grounded understands this difference. She feels deeply, but she does not let her feelings control the space between two people. She experiences emotion without becoming overwhelmed by it. Her inner world is alive yet steady. Emotional grounding is not emotional coldness. It is emotional clarity. When something upsets her, she pauses before reacting. She notices the feeling before expressing it. This pause creates safety. It allows communication to arise from understanding rather than impulse. Men often experience emotional reactivity as danger, not because emotion is wrong, but because it feels uncontrollable. When every disagreement becomes a storm, the nervous system retreats. Silence becomes protection. But when a woman responds rather than reacts, something remarkable happens. He stays. Her calm presence becomes an anchor. He senses that conflict will not destroy connection. He learns that honesty will not be punished. In that safety, vulnerability becomes possible. Being emotionally grounded means she does not need immediate reassurance to feel secure. She is not constantly seeking validation to regulate her inner state. Her sense of self remains intact even when emotions arise. This independence is deeply attractive. It communicates confidence without dominance, strength without hardness, openness without instability. When emotions are expressed with calm honesty, they invite understanding rather than defense. A grounded woman can say, "This hurt me," without accusing. She can share her feelings without making them weapons. This changes the entire emotional dynamic. Instead of bracing for impact, he leans in. Instead of shutting down, he engages. Because he feels that emotions are being shared, not thrown. Emotional grounding also allows room for repair. Disagreements become moments of learning rather than threats to connection. There is space for reflection, for growth, for mutual understanding. A man falls in love when he feels emotionally safe, not controlled, not tested, not overwhelmed. Grounded emotion signals maturity. It suggests that love is not dependent on constant reassurance, but on shared stability. It says, "I can be with you without losing myself," and that is a powerful message. Love deepens when emotion is honored, not feared, when feeling does not turn into drama, when intensity is balanced with awareness, because true intimacy is not built through emotional extremes. It is built through emotional steadiness. Do you believe emotional stability strengthens relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective may help someone reflect on their own emotional patterns. Love does not unfold all at once. It reveals itself slowly, like a horizon that moves as you walk toward it. In a world that encourages constant expression, emotional transparency can quietly turn into emotional exposure. Oversharing, though well-intentioned, often rushes intimacy before it has had time to grow roots. A woman who understands the power of mystery does not hide herself, but she does not give herself away all at once either. Mystery is not secrecy, it is timing. She knows that connection deepens through discovery, not data. When every thought, fear, and expectation is laid out immediately, there is nothing left to explore. The relationship becomes heavy before it becomes meaningful. Men fall deeper when curiosity remains alive. Mystery creates space for imagination. It invites attention. It allows interest to breathe rather than collapse under emotional weight. A grounded woman trusts that closeness does not need to be forced. She shares gradually, intuitively, listening as much as she speaks. She allows conversations to unfold naturally instead of emotionally dumping to feel relief. In doing so, she preserves her own inner rhythm. This restraint is not manipulation, it is self-respect. Oversharing often comes from anxiety, the need to be fully known immediately to feel safe. But true intimacy grows from mutual presence over time, not from information overload. When she allows mystery, she communicates confidence. She shows that her worth does not depend on constant explanation. She trusts the process of connection instead of rushing towards certainty. This patience creates attraction. Men are drawn to what feels alive and unfolding, not to what feels already finished. When everything is revealed too quickly, interest can fade, not because care is absent, but because the journey has ended too soon. Mystery keeps the journey alive. It allows him to lean in, to ask questions, to discover layers rather than be handed conclusions. It keeps emotional energy circulating instead of stagnating. A woman who understands this does not confuse silence with distance. She knows that presence does not require constant disclosure. She allows moments of quiet, knowing that connection also lives there. Her boundaries protect her emotional energy. She does not confuse vulnerability with overexposure. Instead, she offers depth in measured doses, honoring both herself and the pace of the relationship. And in that balance, something rare happens. He feels invited, not overwhelmed, curious, not pressured, engaged, not rushed. Mystery allows desire to remain awake. It keeps attraction dynamic rather than static. It says, "There is more to know," instead of, "This is everything." Love thrives when there is room to grow into each other. Do you believe mystery strengthens attraction? Or do you value complete openness from the start? Share your perspective in the comments. Your insight could spark a meaningful conversation. There is a quiet power in stillness, a strength that does not announce itself, yet changes the direction of everything around it. A woman who does not chase is often misunderstood. She is not distant. She is not indifferent. She simply knows the difference between desire and desperation. Chasing comes from fear, the fear of losing, of not being chosen, of being forgotten. Choosing, on the other hand, comes from clarity. It says, I know what I offer, and I trust that what is meant for me will meet me halfway. Men feel this difference instinctively. When a woman chases, she unintentionally shifts the balance of the connection. The dynamic becomes about reassurance instead of discovery. Energy moves in only one direction, and attraction quietly dissolves into obligation. But when she chooses, something entirely different happens. She remains open, warm, present, but she does not pursue attention. She allows interest to reveal itself naturally. She responds rather than reacts. She listens to actions more than words. This creates polarity. Choosing means she observes how he shows up. Does he make time? Does he listen? Does he return energy with intention? She does not convince him of her worth. She lets him experience it. And this is why air attraction deepens. Men are drawn to women who stand firmly in their own center. A woman who chooses herself first communicates emotional maturity. She signals that love is an addition to her life, not the foundation of her identity. This is not about playing games. It is about self-trust. She does not send messages just to keep the connection alive. She does not overextend to avoid silence. She allows space because she understands that genuine interest moves on its own. Silence does not scare her. It informs her. In that space, a man has room to feel his desire. He notices her absence. He recognizes her presence as something earned, not guaranteed. And in that realization, respect grows. Chasing says, please want me. Choosing says, I am open, but I am not available to be uncertain. This distinction is subtle, yet powerful. A woman who chooses does not rush commitment or cling to potential. She stays grounded in reality. She does not invest in promises. She invests in consistency. Her confidence does not come from control, but from acceptance. She knows that if someone walks away, it is not a loss of value. It is clarity, and that clarity is magnetic. Men fall deeper when they feel chosen, not pressured, when they sense freedom instead of expectation, when love feels like an invitation, not an obligation. Choosing creates safety. It allows both people to step forward willingly, and in that space, love grows naturally. Do you believe choosing over chasing changes the way love unfolds? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective may help someone see relationships in a new way. There is a strange belief in modern connection that everything must be explained immediately, every silence justified, every emotion clarified, every action defended, but attraction does not grow through explanation. It grows through presence. A woman who understands this does not fee the need to narrate her inner world in real time. She does not rush to define what she feels, why she feels it, or where the connection is going. She allows space for curiosity to breathe. Mystery is not secrecy, it is restraint. Over-explaining often comes from anxiety, the desire to control how one is perceived. It says, please understand me so I don't lose you. But in doing so, it removes the natural unfolding that makes connection alive. Men feel this energetically. When everything is explained, nothing is discovered. When every emotion is spoken, imagination has no room to move. The relationship becomes predictable, and predictability quietly dulls desire. But a woman who allows mystery communicates something deeper, self-sufficiency. She trusts that her presence is enough. She does not fear being misunderstood because she understands herself. She does not rush to correct every assumption because she knows clarity comes through time, not urgency. This kind of mystery invites pursuit, not because she is unavailable, but because she is grounded. She answers questions honestly, but she does not volunteer unnecessary emotional labor. She shares, but she does not overshare. She lets moments land without immediately interpreting them, and this creates depth. Men are drawn to what unfolds slowly. When understanding is earned rather than handed over, it feels valuable. It engages attention. It keeps interest awake. This is why silence, when held with confidence, is more powerful than explanation ever could be. A woman who allows mystery does not fill pauses with nervous words. She allows quiet moments to exist without discomfort. In that stillness, connection either deepens or reveals its limits. Both outcomes are clarity. Mystery also preserves dignity. She does not justify her boundaries or explain why she needs space. She simply takes it. She does not explain her worth. She lives it. And paradoxically, the less she explains, the more she is respected, because respect grows where there is self-containment. Over-explaining gives away energy. Mystery preserves it. It keeps the center of gravity within herself, not in the reaction of another. This does not mean playing distant or withholding truth. It means trusting timing. It means allowing someone to lean in rather than pushing understanding onto them. Love that lasts is not rushed. It is revealed. And mystery is the space where revelation begins. Do you think mystery strengthens attraction, or does it create distance? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. There is a quiet power in a woman who does not need to be selected in order to feel complete. She enters connection not as a request, but as an offering. Most attraction collapses under the weight of need. When love becomes a negotiation for worth, it loses its grace. But a woman who understands this does not wait to be validated. She does not audition for affection. She is already standing in her own approval. This changes everything. Men are not drawn to someone who is trying to be chosen. They are drawn to someone who could walk away whole, not because she threatens distance, but because she embodies freedom. Wholeness is felt before it is seen. She does not measure her value by how quickly he responds, how intensely he pursues, or whether the relationship is defined. She allows things to unfold without gripping them. Her calm is not indifference, it is trust in herself, and that trust is magnetic. When a woman does not cling to outcomes, she creates space for authentic desire, desire that arises naturally, not out of obligation or pressure. She does not ask, "Do you want me?" with her energy. She asks, "Do you know who I am?" This is the subtle shift that transforms connection. Because when someone is already complete, love becomes a sharing, not a rescue. Two people meet not to fill emptiness, but to explore resonance. Men sense this immediately. A woman who is whole does not fear silence. She does not chase reassurance. She does not contort herself to maintain interest. She remains steady even when things are uncertain. This steadiness invites respect before it invites romance. She enjoys companionship, but she does not depend on it. She welcomes attention, but she is not ruled by it. She receives love without collapsing into it, and in doing so, she becomes unforgettable. Wholeness also means boundaries. She knows when to say no without apology. She knows when to step back without drama. She does not beg for consistency, she expects it. This is not hardness, it is clarity. A woman who is whole does not need to be chosen because she has already chosen herself. And paradoxically, this self-selection is what makes others want to choose her, not because she withholds, but because she radiates sufficiency. Love moves differently around such a presence. It slows down. It becomes intentional. It deepens. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who knows they would survive, even thrive, without you, yet still chooses to share their life. That is not detachment. That is dignity. And dignity is the foundation of lasting attraction. Do you believe true attraction begins with self-wholeness, or is love meant to complete us? Share your perspective in the comments below.